Hey guys, welcome back. Back here on Corpse Party Book of Shadows, the prologue of Blood Drive, and we are inside the Shinozaki estate. And we're searching around. We found a secret room behind a safe door, and we found a family tree that is the gifted line. And it seems Yoshi and Sachiko were descended from them, the famous clairvoyants. It sure seemed that way, and from the looks of it, the Shinozaki line was never blessed with a male heirs either. Passed down its blood and family name down from mother to daughter, generation after generation, through adopted son-in-laws. Okay, it was certain if I traced the family tree far enough, I'd find the names Yoshi and Sachiko. Find them? There they are. Just like everyone before her, Yoshi had married a man who had been adopted into the family in order to keep the Shinozaki name. Looks like the root of the family is this person named Sarah? Sarah? And Yoshi's mother's name is Rocky. Rocky Bubba. No. She was the eldest daughter in her family and had no brothers. So that makes Yoshi a thoroughbred, a direct, unfiltered descendant. I guess it stands to reason, then, that she's so much power and influence even as a spirit. The rapping was getting pretty loud in there. All these adopted fathers who continued the family line died suddenly after their children were born. It seems without even one single exception. Oh no, did the children kill the fathers? It's like the family line had a mind of its own, and went to great lengths to eliminate the blood of other lions once it had served its purpose. These were These are men who are willing to give up their own birthrights and take another's name for the sake of love. It seemed it has been hard on Shinozaki woman. Daddy's not breathing. No, darling, no. I suppose this was a fate that just couldn't be averted. Such a strong spiritual influence. What are we seeing? Kane Shinozaki, Hirohito, Ayato. That's my grandmother, my grandfather, and my dad. Oh, the connection. I remember hearing that my grandfather was adopted into my grandmother's family and passed away shortly after my dad was born. The head of the family had 3 daughters, and Grandma Kane is descended from the youngest. I thought it was pretty creepy enough to having the same last name, but I think my family is actually from the same lineage as Yoshi and Sachiko. Ooh, spicy. Am I gifted in then? What does this even mean? Hey, do you find something? It's pitch black and really creepy standing here, you know? Yeah, sorry about that. I'll be right back. In fact, fire hazard or no, how about I lend you one of my candles? That'd probably be good, but don't burn the lineage thing, the family tree. The class rep had an old oversized sheet of paper in her hand and was shaking wildly. Did she find some crucial piece of information, I wonder? Book of Shadows. Book of Shadows. Book of Shadows. Class rep, are you okay? It hurts. My head. Feels like it's being crushed in a vice. No, stop this. Keep it together. Oh. Oh, is she fine? She suddenly turned toward one corner of the room and froze completely, gazing intently at the wall. Her eyes became wide as saucers. She was like a cat who had stiffened up and just kept staring into a thin air, on high alert for no discernible reason. Just as cat owners are often left wondering what these pets were seeing, I too wondered if she was looking at something, or had heard a noise, maybe. I was worried about her, but really, I was more scared than anything. I grabbed her and tried to shake her out of the discontent trance. Class rep, what's wrong? But she brushed me off and held up a hand as if to say, hold it right there. Then she began walking, slowly toward the corner she'd been watching. Is it going to make a false wall? A hole that has a book of shadows in it? Something special about it. It seemed no different from anything else. Just an ordinary wall. A few moments longer, the class rep stood there, gazing at this empty space. Then, with no explanation, she began tearing away loose boards. It wasn't difficult to do. The entire room was old and in disrepair. The wood was thoroughly rotted. Each board came off easily. Eventually, small gaps began to form. She stuck her fingers in those and pulled and yanked. Formed bigger and bigger crevice. Finally emerged into one big gaping hole, which a hidden sub-room, no bigger than a closet, now fully exposed. Oh, that's not creepy at all. And within the sub-room sat a thick, dark tome. Oh, wonderful. That reminds me of the Necronomicon. It's the Book of Shadows. Why is this in Japan? What's going on? What's the Book of Shadows? Whatever it was clearly a very old book, and it didn't look like it was bound with paper. There were small ornamental patterns sewn into it, all of which were certain disconcerting quality about them. In addition, a liquid was cut that looked just as much like blood as dried ink, as did ink pulled into multi-hued stains all across the lips of the front page. And that grotesque cover was already unpleasant looking enough. Began with, there's no mistaking it, these pages were made from human skin. Animal hide. This is, without a doubt, the Book of Shadows. Sis told me about it. It's a dark tome with a long history of rotten blood, passed down from generation to generation in secret. It dates back to tumultuous days of the witch hunts that occurred at the end of the Middle Ages, primarily in Europe. Witch hunts. Yeah, mass paranoia led to indiscriminate persecution and slaughtering of as many as 40,000 people. They were suspected of practicing dark magic by making pacts with the devil. So the churches and local communities brought them to trial, where they were almost always subjugated to horrible torture and eventually executed, usually in really cruel ways. People began blaming them for natural disasters, poverty, and other unfortunate realities of life, used them as scapegoats. The vast majority were killed were just innocent victims. Wrong place at the wrong time. There were very few. Or a few. Oh, there are a few gifted people among them who had legitimately mastered the practical use of magic. Is that your mother, I'm guessing? Gifted people? What do you mean practically use? What are you talking about? Witches flying on brooms and stuff? That's impossible. It's kind of hard to believe, isn't it? But I want you to know everything about this, Ayomi, about the things in this world that science can't quite understand. Explain. I'm already familiar with your studies, though. You taught me the laws of the natural world and that the true nature of magic is prayer. It makes sense, too. It really is easy to understand how power like that would work. But anything more than that, like flying around on brooms and stuff, is just some, like, fantasy to me. And I'm sure that's what Dad and Mom must have thought, too. When I told them I was interested in Wicca, to them, it all just dangerous fantasy. Though, there were also those in the Shinozaki family roots to consider. But that's a long story. So how about we save it for another time? Okay. Witches, you see, were usually village elders and sages back in those days, conducting themselves with intelligence, dignity, and honor. So when the witch hunts began, they were smart enough to hide their powers from public view, and as a result, a majority of them survived. But after the ban on witchcraft was lifted, the memories of what happened remained, and the dark arts continued to be socially shunned. Eventually, the powers of magic began to fade with disuse, and the witches feared that these powers passed from generation to generation throughout their long, proud history were in danger of being lost forever. So they put them on paper in painstaking detail for all posterity. And their chronicle is right here, the Book of Shadows. Passed from one gifted mage to another, revised and apprehended countless times, a complete guide to witchcraft, detailed spells pertaining to all creation. You may have heard of Al-Azif, that infamous Lovecraftian grimoire that everyone says is just a work of fiction. But whenever this book comes up, even among researchers, people always debate whether or not it's real. They always admit it's a possibility. Supposedly, it contains a complete listing of white and black Yeah, black magic spells, all manner of lost arts, and even more forbidden acts of sorcery. As in, the really dangerous kinds of magic? It really it would really be dangerous in the wrong hands. That's why it was supposed to have been enshrined and kept under watch by the witch's descendants. So why is something like this in here, tucked away in a hidden room in rural Japan? I don't know, but it's been a good half a century since someone's able to prove it's laid it. Since anyone's been able to prove they've laid their eyes on it. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. And that's led many people to start doubting its existence. The class rep suddenly picked up the book and began casually thumbling through it, as if she was looking for up a word in the dictionary. Hey, is it really okay to be holding that, much less opening it? It can't hurt to take a look. Come on, yeah, come on. Just like say some words in it, raise some dead. The tome with its cover it seemed to have been stitched together from hides of many different animals, looked heavy in class rep's hands. She instantly became engrossed in its contents, and she hungrily flipped through the pages one after another. As for me, all I would do is watch in awe as my very real friend and classmate lost herself in this very occult book. And as expected, the book was written not in Japanese, but a mixture of French and what could only be assumed in magic runes of some sort. Why French? That seems... I don't know. I'm not going to question it. As a high school student, I certainly couldn't read any of it, nor could class rep, but some pages had Japanese notes scribbled in the margins. Notes that were possibly penciled in by Yoshi Shinozaki. I have no idea if there'll be Japanese footnotes for it or not, but I'm betting if I look in the sorcery section. The glint in her eyes was one of desperation as she flipped through the pages. What was she doing? I was starting to get uncomfortable, nervous. Eventually, her legs gotten tired. She sat on the floor and continued paging through the Book of Shadows. Then, finally, she seemed to find whatever it was she was looking for. This is it. What is it? Tell me. Land of Corpses. Oh, a spell to open the door of the dead. I think this is what created Heavenly Host, where there are notes all over it. There certainly are, but why has the whole page been crossed out like that? Maybe the spell failed. Maybe whatever is casting it seized up the fear partway through. But that doesn't matter now. Look at this. Raising of Corpses. A spell to resurrect the dead. That can't actually work, can it? Resurrecting the dead? Is that possible? Are you still bound by common sense, then? Have you forgotten where we are right now? Ayumi, you're starting to scare me. I had to admit it. There was a good point. Reality is, we knew it is far different. But is it okay for us to do something like that? I mean, ethically. Won't we be crossing a line humans aren't meant to cross? Are you scared? No. You're not just scared. You're also forgetting about all the people we lost and what they've been going through. Miss Yui, Suzimoto, Shinohara, and Morshige. All of their wits and suffering in that horrible place. Think about how painful their deaths were and how their existence were erased from the world. Can you accept that reality? I know I sure can't, and I'm betting the same is true for you. That's right. Our friends were dead. They died, and we came here so we could do something about it. And if we didn't do this, nothing would change. They'd still be dead. No hope of hearing their voices again. Their faces eventually forgotten. Tears began welling up in my eyes. I miss them so much, and I'd do whatever it took to get them back. It's okay. It's okay. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. We climbed our way out of that hell. We broke free from Heavenly Host. So let's follow our hearts now. If there's something we can do to fix this situation, then we have to do it. So come on, let's do this. Okay. It didn't matter how improbable or even impossible it was. 1 in a million chance we had to take it. Absolutely foolish of us to try this. It was unnatural, unholy, completely inadvisable. But as long as there was a slight possibility, this was something that just had to be done. We weren't about to give up without a fight. This is a bad idea, guys. Bad idea. Okay, so that's Yoshi, Sachiko, and the father. So I've heard of practitioners of forbidden sorcery suffering even greater payback for their actions. But this book wasn't written in Japanese, and I can't read the parts that weren't about that. So out of sight, out of mind, I can't handle this. Are you sure about that, Ayumi? Are you sure? This isn't quite the solution I had in mind, but as long as it lets us reunite with the friends that we lost, I really don't care. Since they don't even exist in this world anymore, dragging them back by force seems like our only option. Yeah, let's just do it. How about we start with Suzimoto? We need a photograph for the spell to work, and I've got one of her with me. Alright. Does it work if you can't see her face? Our first attempt at resurrecting the dead was going to be a spell to bring back Mayu Suzimoto. All the material we needed was present, accounted for in the bottles and jars within the room. A beetle carapace, part of an animal's body, etc. First step was to carve a pentagram into the floor with a knife, and place 3 paper dolls in the center, sort of used in the Sachiko charm. Ritual, sorry. The one in the middle would bear the name of the person we wished to raise, and the one on either side would bear the names of the casters, our names. Mayu Suzimoto. The class rep then placed Suzimoto's photo on top of the paper doll and dedicated to her. As for the paper dolls, we each had to blow on them 3 times, then cut both our palms with blood and coat the spell materials in our blood. Ooh. Huff, huff, huff. Here we go. Be strong. Blood, yep. Yep. My blood mixed together with class reps in a white ceramic dish, forming one singular globule. Remembered hearing once that everyone's blood is a slightly different color. Found myself thinking of this as I applied pressure to my throbbing palm. With all the setup taken care of, now time to chant the spell. Fortunately, these foreign words all had Japanese pronunciations written in above them. Ari, Tiramiri, Timoria, Kanada, Atrios, Inumus, Kalit, Dimura. This was starting to feel crazy. I was sitting here, listening to the class rep chant a magic spell to raise the dead, for goodness sakes. I wasn't sure how much of a grip I had on reality anymore. We were trying to bring back Suzimoto back. I had to concentrate. If I doubted the spell, then the spell would fail. Had to believe it would work. Wicca Wicca on Ruka Tapika Kanada. The ritual took several hours to complete. Hours? Oh my gosh. For each person? With the class rep carefully chanting away the whole time. Finally, the last word on the last page is spoken. Class rep? Are you okay? Come on. Do you think it's going to work? How long do you have to wait? Oh! I guess not very long. Blood red stains looked almost like letters suddenly splashed onto the open book of shadows. Unclear of where they'd come from. What? Oh, fire, fire. No, if the book catches fire, we... Class rep quickly snatched the book away from the flame. The photo of Suzimoto, she sat down and completely burned to nothing, but the paper doll below it was unscathed. So what does this mean? Does it mean that we succeeded? Yeah. Shig? Shig, where are you? The voice was unmistakably Suzimoto's. The two of us took one another's hands, and we just waited. Shig, where are you? We started to call out to her, but the class rep held up her hand to stop me. Something's not right. What do you mean? She's walking in circles. Oh no. After another few footsteps, we heard the unmistakable sound of the heavy door safe we'd left ajar open. Oh, please be Suzimoto, please. Then they resumed, and this time they were coming toward us. I instinctively shrunk back and froze myself into place, afraid of the unknown presence approaching us from above. She was certain. She was certainly in no hurry, slowly prodding and climbing down the staircase. Oh! It was Suzumoto alright, but her face. Her face was completely blotted out. No eyes, no nose, no mouth. Shig. Oh, come on. I couldn't tell if she was screaming or moaning, but either way, she was clearly in agony. The sound was barely even human. It was a death knell. Oh. Oh. Our spell had failed. Suzumoto-like being we summoned was lying flat on the ground, face up, writhing and spasming. There was nothing we could do to help her. Nothing at all. As I observed these convulsions, I noticed rune-like symbols appearing all over her body. And then, without warning, her paper doll burst into flames. Is that since it died, or is it still working? Soon as it did, the blood began spraying from each of the runes on her body, like water shooting from a fire hose. Oh! Oh. Her arms, neck, and thighs were all separated from the torso, right where the runes appeared. And it moved no more. The flame that had extinguished the paper doll was now completely extinguished, leaving behind nothing but ash. That's why you don't try to bring people back to life, guy. Oh, no, Ayumi too. Screwdrivers? What? Then the class rep fell to her knees as well. She was bleeding from her arms and legs, in exact spots Suzumoto bore the runic markings. Class rep. Oh, is Naomi going to get him too? Oh, Sawblade too. Oh. Round saw blades were now jutting from the marks on her body. It hurts. Class rep. Oh, what is this? It's exactly the same death that this fake Suzumoto was subjected to. I'm gonna die in the exact same way. Oh, I heard that practitioners of forbidden sorcery suffered from a greater payback for their actions than black magic users. Oh. Out of sight, out of mind. Yeah, you did say that. You did say that. Payback. Oh. No. The paper doll. Put it out. I'll put it out in no time. I don't think it's possible. I tried putting out the fire by slapping the paper doll with my hand. I couldn't even feel the heat of the flame on my skin. Go out. Go out. Already. He wasn't working. He wasn't doing anything. The fire just continued to burn. It's not going out. What do I do? Oh, please. Was there something else I could do? I looked around and saw paint full of water nearby. I was acting on impulse. I didn't even think about what I was doing. I threw the entire contents on the flaming paper doll. Oh, it's gasoline, wasn't it? It was gasoline, wasn't it? Oh my gosh. Oh, that... The Book of Shadows too happy. Too happy. Blood began spraying from the mark on the class rep's neck. The round saw blade from a desk earlier was digging into it. Oh, I don't want to die. Save me. Oh, there seemed to be no escape for us. We are destined to die here. This is punishment for meddling in those things no human should. For playing God. Naomi, no. No, no, no. Mine was on fire too now. I was next. There's no fighting this. I was going to die here. We were going to die horribly and painfully. Oh. Hinoe, what? Like an angel sent down from high, our savior suddenly appeared. A woman older than us scrambled down the stairs, calling out the class rep's name. She leaped over the railing and practically dove toward the burning paper dolls. Power of the guardian spirits, I cast out that which should do us harm. So she's an actual spiritual user, better than Ayumi. What is that? Like holy water or something? Sis? Oh, that's her sister? Okay. The fire is out. I had no idea what this woman had just done, but whatever it was, it saved us. The flames were out and no longer in danger. The class rep's neck, though gashed, was still fully intact. Sis. She flung herself at the new arrival and lashed on, tears practically exploding from her eyes. That's a sister of hers I've heard so much about. You're lucky. You're very lucky. Sis, you came to save me. Whoa, what's happening? But how do you know I was here? Sis? That's not the sister, is it? Oh! What? What? No. No, 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 no. Yes, Ayumi, I'm the same as you. No. To be get. Oh. You, I guess that's continue to the next corpse party. Blood drive. I guess that makes you want to go to the next game. Oh, now we get like a flashback of all the stuff happening. And it all goes back to the paper doll. Oh my gosh. Now you see, I liked Seal, the first chapter. I also liked chapter 3. And then I didn't really like most of it. Well, they're alright. They were good chapters, I guess. But like, I didn't like feel very much. Till this one. Oh my gosh. So, we finally got to see the Book of Shadows. And you can't bring someone back that has been killed in Heavenly Host. Or at least we don't know how to yet. Um, when you bring them back, they have no face and they just die. That's very sad. Sorry, Mayu. But then, after they die, you die the same way. So, if you try to bring someone back, you're going to get hurt. Oh my gosh. And then her sister, Ayumi's sister, just like coming down there and saving us. And then I think her head got chopped off. If I saw correctly. Oh my gosh. That was good. Okay, that was worth all the time that I spent going through all these bad endings and everything like that. That was good. I loved that. I was almost sitting here, I'm like, oh, it's not that big a deal if I see this last chapter or whatever. I'm like, whenever I play Blood Drive, I'll get to see it probably. I don't know for sure if that's in Blood Drive. It might be. So I might have to skip that. But oh my gosh. Good job. Good job. You got me hooked to the next one already. But that seems to be the end. That seems to be the end. Prologue cleared, guys. We got the prologue for Blood Drive cleared now. The EVP machine unlocked. We got the sulfur testimonies of those. Nice, nice. And we got the turning point achievement down there. You guys can't see it, but I can. Actually, let's check the Gallery of Souls, too. Gallery of Spirits. Can you get all of them? Each page is... Okay, that's Book of Shadow. The Blood Drive. There's a lot on Blood Drive. Oh, that... Yeah. Last one? Oh, yeah. Oh, it doesn't have a picture of... It does have a picture of that. Oh! Yeah! Should have expected that. Oh my gosh. Hey, this is a cool picture. Yeah, so her head got chopped off. That's like a for sure thing. Cursed phonograph? This is all the music, I'm guessing? Yeah. Okay, everyone. That is officially the end of Corpse Party Book of Shadows. We have done everything in the game. I mean, I could go back and get name tags, but I don't think I'm going to. If I do, it'll be later. It won't be on video. But I've done all the endings for this. We have done all the chapters. We finished the Blood Drive chapter, which was amazing. That's quite... I think that might have been my favorite chapter, other than like Seal. Seal was really good because I like Naomi and Seiko. But that was awesome. I hope that Blood Drive kind of lives up to that, because it was great. It's just great. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed Corpse Party. Like, I love Corpse Party, and I love the first game. Book of Shadows, I'd been waiting to play. Blood Drive now, and then there's another game after that that's like still being made, I think, or it might be done now. I don't know. So I mean, there's still more Corpse Party stuff for me to play, but I'm trying to slow myself down, not doing it all at one time, and burn myself out. And I want something to for me to be excited about. This is that game. It's just for me to get excited, seeing how everyone lives and dies and everything else. Yeah, thanks to you guys on Reddit too that were like talking to me about it whenever I think it was the second chapter whenever I was kind of sad about the autopsy. I think that was the second chapter. Uh, but yeah, I might have to go on there and post after I post this video. So yeah, I would highly, highly, highly recommend this game. It's one of those. It's. I think I like the original Corpse Party better, but this last Blood Drive chapter was excellent. I loved it. It was great. So yeah, everyone get into Corpse Party. I mean, just play it. Like, even if you watch me play it, you can still see all the other endings that I did not do, and you can still like. I'm sure just playing through yourself would probably be great. Like, especially the first game. Uh, so yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this one. So it'll probably be a little while before I start the next Corpse Party playthrough. Uh, yeah, I'll probably wait a little while. I have Subnautica Below Zero. I have The Witcher that I might play a little bit on, but I don't know for sure if I'll do that on stream. And then there's the South Park game, The Fractured Butthole. It might not be everyone's cup of tea. It might not even be mine, but I like the Stick of Truth better. I like the Stick of Truth good, so this one might be fine. So anyways, thank you guys for all your support through this series and everything, and I hope you will be with me whenever I go through to the next game, Corpse Party Blood Drive, and I hope I have as much fun on it as I did all these other games. So thank you guys so much for watching again, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!